Hey, Internet, we're back. It's Shawn, Connor. We got dead guy right here, or girl, not
Scully.
sure. Scully?
Yeah.
This is A Million New Golf. We got an awesome question from Chris Bat 11.
C-Bat, wait on, man.
So shout out to Chris Bat, because this is a money question. We could talk about this the whole show, but the question pertains to how do you get new people into the game? And the reason we're so excited about this question is the reason we're doing this show is we want to get a million new golfers either re-engaged or to try the game of golf. And when we say that, we mean we want them to at least come to the driving range, because the driving range is the gateway drug to the game of golf. And we want you to have an unbelievable experience just hitting balls, because we know your life's busy. And if it's something that you become passionate about, you're going to want to go ahead and play.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the question, Shawn, is how do you get somebody started in the game?
Yep.
You know, what should that experience be like?
Well, so if there's a beginner in your life and you wanna introduce them to the game, you're trying to find the best way to hook them, right?
Yeah.
Then, you know, in my experience, I see beginners throughout the season here, and I'll start some of them at the putting green, some of them in the chipping area, and some other ones straight out onto the driving range in the full swing. I'm not going to take them into the woods right out of the gate, but you know, we'll put a mid to short iron in their hands, and we'll start right out of the gate in the full swing. And then you'll notice that it all is interconnected. The putting, the chipping, the pitching, the full swing, you're using the same body, same planet, same rules, and you will eventually see a connection amongst the whole thing. So there's no wrong way of going about it. We just go about it with the temperament of the individual. If I have an aggressive, go-getting sports fanatic who plays tennis, baseball, hockey, well, let's have at it on the driving range. Whereas if I have more of a timid individual, then we'll start at the putting green or the chipping green. So to each their own, and it's up to us to really listen to that, and it's up to you to listen to the person that you're introducing to.
And to add to that, that learning environment that you're creating, because whether you're taking your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your kids to the driving range for the first time, and you want to introduce them to a game that you're excited about, that little learning environment that you create is going to be so essential in whether or not they're going to come back and do it again.
That's right.
Okay? And I think, you know, in fairness, we're around the game a lot. We see a lot of people with great intentions that bring their sons and daughters, girlfriends, wives out to try and teach them the game.
Yep.
And they try and rush the learning process.
Yes.
And, you know, Shawn can add to this, but basically, it's when they're learning, when you're out here on the driving range, that's your experience.
Yep.
And you kind of want to be a shepherd, I guess, to that. But the how-to stuff is really crazy right out the gate.
You know what? I'm really excited about this, because this is a video I've wanted to do for a long time on, you know, because we see it all the time. We have a husband bringing their spouse out to the golf course and throwing them on the golf course for the first time, and then telling them how badly they're swinging and how they need to do this and do that and make sure of this and make sure of that. And the person comes out of that with a really crappy experience. So there's a way of going about it. You can't do it for them. You need to allow them to experience it for themselves. So you got to set up the right learning environment, the right learning conditions for their success. And I want you guys to really get this. You can't do anything wrong. So stop trying to make sure, stop being worried about, are they going to pick up a bad habit or something like that? The answer is no. If you see a kid learning how to walk and the kid falls down, what are you going to do? You're going to start coaching them now? You're going to tell them what they're doing wrong? No, you're going to relax, take another cup of coffee, open up your newspaper and say, hey, that's good, son. Keep it up. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And eventually they're going to walk on their own. Why? Because they're experiencing it for themselves.
So here's the perfect practical application of what we're talking about. And one of the things that we try and stress in the show is, you know, instead of telling people how to do something, tell people why things are the way they are, or how the tool is designed to be used.
Yes.
And they'll be able to figure it out on their own. Yep. I mean, if I'm a brand new golfer and Shawn takes me out here to the driving range for the first time, and I start by going like this, and really trying to whack at the ball, and Shawn explains to me that, hey, I want you to imagine that this thing is an airplane, and if you want to use the tool efficiently, you know, pretend that you're trying to land this thing at the airport, I'm going to make an entirely different motion right off the hop just because I have a better understanding of how this thing works.
That's it. Can I add some? Can I use you as a guinea pig? Here, grab this wedge.
Okay.
So you want a high lofted club. You set up a ball right next to a door frame. Go ahead and set up to that, Connor.
Okay.
Now, feel like you're going to set up like you want to squeeze that ball between the club face and the door frame. So where would you put that ball in your stance to be able to do that adequately?
I probably wouldn't put it there.
Right.
And I wouldn't put it there.
Right.
Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
And so go ahead and perform a small motion there, a little less than that, and just go ahead and squeeze it into the door frame. Let it pop right up. There you go. So notice how his task is to squeeze the ball between the club face and the door frame. You notice how the ball popped up in the air, okay? So there's an easy way for you to visualize how that ball's supposed to go in the air.
Yeah. Okay, so good luck with that. Keep talking to us. We love your comments. We love your questions. Tiger's back. He's playing now. He's going to start again at the Chevron tournament. Me and Shawn have some predictions on maybe how his swing will evolve as he comes towards the, not the end of his career, but the later stages of his career.
Yeah. It's called listen.
Yeah. And if you look at the way that he moved when he was younger and how he's going to move when he's older, I think my prediction will be that he'll probably hit higher, straighter draws and have more degrees of freedom in his movement and his backswing. He'll let his upper body and lower body, he'll allow them to turn a little bit more in the backswing, and he'll probably shallow out the bottom of the swing and hit higher shots like he did back in 2000.
Well, my hope, and you know, this is something that has been repeated over time, over his career, and he missed out on these little nuggets, you know, about, so I'll give you a nice example. He's playing Riviera when Mike Ware won in 2003. Played this glorious final round because he was out of the event, and he went out to the driving range. At the end of the day, the media was all over him because he played such a great round of golf, and he doesn't do that very much there. And he says, well, I went to the range this morning. I played these big old cuts and these big old hooks like in my college days playing a game of horse, and my swing kind of fell into place. And I went out, and my goal was just to have fun and play every shot the way it was meant to be played, and it came off really nicely. That's what I recommend to Tiger, because when one of my students saw him a couple of years ago at Akron, Ohio, off the tee he was really bad, but in the trees, he says, I stepped in the position that Tiger was in, and I looked up and I saw nothing, and Tiger had put the ball on the green. He says, out of the trees, he's so creative, it's out of this world what he can do around trees. And if you look at how that happens, Jack Nicklaus had an intermediate point. Well, a tree is an intermediate point.
Yeah.
Don't hit the tree. So I got to go left of the tree, and I got to go above that tree branch. So for me, set that range up in his backyard like an obstacle course, and just bend these golf balls over and above and around the trees like Bubba Watson does, and I think we'll see some amazing stuff out of Tiger.
Cool. All right. We'll see you in the next episode.